Literally, who needs this much makeup from Primark of all places? This whole box is packed full of Primark only makeup products, and I am gonna do this full face for you right now. So let's go. Let's just get straight into a full face of Primark makeup. So I'm gonna skin prep before I do my brows, and I'm just gonna use their hydration cream. I think when this came out it was supposed to be like a dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I have used a good bit of it. It is not as thick as the Magic Cream, so if you're someone that the Magic Cream was a bit too thick for, a bit too heavy for, this might be good for you. I'm not altogether sure what the price of it was because I ripped the sticker off, but it rubs in a lot easier. Now I would not rely on this to be your standalone SPF because it is only SPF 15, and SPF in your makeup is not enough, so this makeup will not be leaving the house today, just because my skin is unprotected. So while that's set, I'm going to do my brows. I picked up 2 brow products. I know they have in their new drops some brow pens, but for me my brows are usually dark enough. So I've just got their brow gel, and this is supposed to style and tame brows. This straight away is like, it's combing them, but it's not sticking them in place. Like, I would be able to wipe that down straight away, or if you went out and got rained on or whatever, that would come straight down. So for me, I'm gonna try the Sculpt and Freeze, which is their brow wax. Now this sort of resembles the e.l.f. one that I usually use, and I'm just gonna take a spoolie and pick up a little tiny bit of that. Yeah, and right away you can see that has just like slicked my brow in place, exact same as what I use my e.l.f. one for. And the e.l.f. one is relatively inexpensive, but this one takes it a step further at only £3.50. So if you are going to go for a brow product, I would personally say if you have stubborn brows like me, the Sculpt and Freeze is the way to go over the brow gel. Now, primer. This is where we start to get very overwhelmed. For primers, I have this, which is new, the Radiance primer. It says with real gold, but it was a fiver, so do with that information what you will. We have, of course, the MAC Strobe Cream dupe, and then the Pore Blurring drops. So our 3 primers. I've already used these 2, so just based on that alone, I am going to go in with the Radiance primer. I think this is supposed to be a YSL dupe, but again, for a fiver, take with that and do with that what you will. The one thing about the Primark packaging I find is it's literally like Fort Knox trying to get in here, so bear with me. Right, we're in. So that's what the bottle looks like. And then that is what it looks like on the back of my hand. It smells a bit plasticky. You know what it actually reminds me of? The Honey Dew Me Up from NYX. That primer with the gold in it. I'm actually not altogether sure what we're expecting of this because it does just say Radiance, but I mean, sort of. Like, I wasn't expecting a lot, but I don't think it did anything at all other than making my face slightly wet. It'd be interesting to see how the makeup layers over the top of this and see if that radiance shines through or if it just completely goes away. I'm just gonna comb this brow back up. That's literally nothing on the brow glue. I just put my hand through that. So going on to eyes. Eyeshadow, I'm not gonna lay down a concealer today because I don't need it to particularly have a strong payoff. I'm not going anywhere, so we are just gonna take the PS Ultimate Neutrals palette, which looks like this. It was a fiver, and on the inside, if it will open, again, Primark, what is up with your packaging? Here we go. it looks very much like a Tarte neutral palette. I've done quite a few sort of like basic looks with this. It wouldn't be the neutral palette that I would reach for, but it's just because I have other ones that I know I like more. That is nothing against the palette itself, because it actually works quite well. And if you're someone who doesn't have a particularly large amount of money to be spending on makeup, a £5 eyeshadow palette when you get 12 shades in it and they're all basic neutrals that you can use every day, it's a win. So I'm just gonna lay out a transition shade all over my lid. It's gonna be a very basic eyeshadow look because, again, I'm not planning on keeping it on for very long. Wear test wise, I would recommend someone else's video, because I don't really plan on going anywhere today to wear this makeup to. I'm gonna take a darker shade and deepen that out just around the outside. Put a wee bit of that through the crease. I mean, they're pigmented enough. Yeah, I can't really complain, to be honest, for a £5. And then we will try just the shimmer down here. I'm just going to pick it up with my finger because I found that's the best way. And that is very, very subtle. So, if you want something a little bit less subtle, a little bit more in your face with the shimmer, there are these Sparkle Dust eyeshadows. So I have got this one, and these are the shades Lunar and Yeehaw. I'm actually going to put a wee bit of Yeehaw just on top to intensify that a little bit, just so you can see what it looks like. It's definitely thicker and chunkier than the eyeshadow that was in the palette. They also have these multi-chrome eyeshadow pigments. That was the only one that was available. And they have this, which is the eyeshadow stacked cream and powder. So that is a shimmery powder, and then underneath it there's a cream. Now again, I could do like 5 full faces with the amount of Primark makeup I have, which if you want to see another one, I'll probably post another one using entirely different products over on my TikTok, so that will be linked. Go and check that out. When it comes to foundation, I have been wearing these sort of like glowy luminous filter things under my foundation a lot more recently, especially if I have tan on, because I don't think I have a single foundation that's in my tan shade. So we are just going to go in with the Primark one. It has such a lovely smell. The only thing I would say is I don't think it came in very many shades. Now obviously if you're just wearing it under your makeup, you're not really going to see it, but that's not even looking particularly dark on me, and I'm really pale, so do with that information what you will. Now for foundations, I have so many different foundations. I have, of course, the illuminating foundation, which is the one that everybody knows. I have the Airbrush foundation, which is the Charlotte Tilbury dupe, allegedly. I have the Dewy Skin Tint, which is brand new, and then I have these two, which are newer. This is the CC cream, and then this is the PS My Perfect Colour moisturising foundation and contour stick. Now obviously I've got it in a foundation shade. This is Ivory, which is the shade I usually buy my foundations in, but for the sake of the video today I am going to use the CC cream just because it is one of the newer ones, and apparently it has SPF 30 in it. Now this is supposed to, let's just read the claims, colour correct and give full coverage. So not really sure how those two things are aligning. Colour correction is one thing, but unless it means it just evens out your skin tone. in which case that's exactly what we want our CC creams to do. This has the same sort of smell as the, like that Flawless filter thing. It's like sweets, like orange sweets or something. It's actually going on very, very, very nice. And that CC cream doesn't have a price on. Again, if I can remember correctly, the shade range wasn't great, and I am not gonna make excuses for it. Maybe I should use a wee bit of the Pore Blur and Primer, because you can see my open pores here and here. But we will get a wee bit of concealer on in a minute and see what we're working with the concealer. And this is actually supposed to be full coverage, although my skin is actually okay at the minute. There's not really an awful lot I'm looking to cover. There is actually like a relatively new brush set from Primark that looks really good. In terms of Primark brushes, I'm not overly familiar with them. Do I know people that have tried them and loved them? Yeah, but I'm just gonna bounce over that with Damn Beauty Blender to remove all the brush strokes. But yeah, I would probably recommend them for you if you're starting out in makeup, or if you want to expand your brush collection, try new things, and you are not willing to part with an awful lot of money, because they are very inexpensive. Now, going in with the Flawless Cover Concealer, which we all know it's hard to shape too. I only put concealer there. I know a lot of people put a lot more on. Each to their own. I just don't think that you need that much concealer unless it's necessary, like unless you're actively working to reverse contour your face, or you have a lot that you need to cover up in terms of blemishes, texture, whatever. I just want my skin to look slightly brighter, potential for covering up the pores, but I'm not trying to look like a filter. If I was going out, I would probably conceal a wee bit more. This concealer, honestly, I think it made its way back into my drawer, my desk drawer, out of my Alex drawers, because I tested it and I was so impressed with it that I was like, okay, you can have a space on the desk. Really, really impressed, especially for $3.50. Like, makeup does not need to be expensive to look good. Right, cream contour / cream bronzer. I have obviously the Chai foundation stick that Jordan Lipscomb sent viral. I have the Charlotte Tilbury dupe, but today I wanted to try this, which is their PS cream bronzer in the shade Caramel. I'm just going to put it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to take a Made by Mitchell brush and I'm going to dab it on to my cheeks. Actually, I haven't seen many people talk about the new Primark Beauty. Like, when you think of like the Primark makeup that I would have been cutting about with in secondary school, or like primary school, late primary, early secondary, like compared to this, we were done wrong back in the day. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cream blushes. Do I know what one I want to use? No. So I'm going to use this, which is their lip and cheek tint in the shade Aloha. Picking it up again on a Made by Mitchell brush, a different one this time. Not nearly as pigmented as I thought it was going to be, but I suppose that's good. I actually don't think I said the price of these, because I ripped the price off, that's why. And then on the other cheek, I'm going to take the shade Sahara Sunset, which is a little bit more of like a corally peachy tone. There is also the shade Bali Beach, which is like a very, very neutral pink. I'm just clearly not neutral whenever it comes to my blush. These are such a hidden gem, but I did also pick up another cream that I just want to try, even if I can do like an ombre or something on my cheeks, and it is this blush duo, and this is £4. And does it have a shade on it? It just says duo blush, and it looks like this on the inside. So I'm just going to pick a little bit of the cream up. Oh, it's so beautiful. Really, really stunning. That is probably my favourite product that I've used so far, and honestly I wasn't even going to buy it. Wasn't completely sold on the colour that it looks in the pan, but that is just stunning. Now, next we're going in with the Givenchy dupe. This is the Cherry Fragrance setting powder, and it's £4, and it comes in like the 4 different shades in the pan and with a tiny powder puff. Now, to give this a completely fair chance, I'm going to take my Trigwell one. We're going to tap some out into the lid. You can definitely smell that cherry scent, so if you have sensitive skin, I would say maybe stay clear. So that's before, and that's after. You can definitely tell that it's smoothed my under eye out. And it has done a relatively good job at just mattifying my face. So I'm actually going to leave it there with setting powder, because I don't want to take away from this glow that I have got going on my cheeks. Adding to that glow, we have our next product, which is our Sunkissed bronzer, and it's a shimmery bronzer. I'm a sucker for a shimmery bronzer. However, I am afraid this is going to be a wee bit too shimmery or a wee bit too pigmented. So I'm just going to take, oh, it's actually fine. So obviously it's supposed to be like a dupe of the MAC shimmery bronzers, and the MAC Global Glow is like my most used bronzer. So I actually really like that, and I didn't think I was going to, so that I'm pleasantly surprised by. Another powder product that I'm actually really unsure of because I've seen mixed reviews are these Radiant blushers, which are obviously supposed to be like the Rare Beauty dupes. So I have a pink and a peach. Now obviously I have these ones, which if the new shimmery ones fail me, I will just go back to them because they're £1.50. I have all 3 shades of them and I use them religiously. Like, they are probably one of the strongest, most pigmented blushers for the cheapest that you can get. I would 100% recommend them. They are one of my favourite Primark products, and it's just called High Pigment Blusher. This, on the other hand, is brand new, so I'm gonna take the pinky shade and okay, so it's definitely there. So I'm not really, I've seen a lot of people complain that like it doesn't pick up, the pigmentation's not good, like it's shimmery, it shows texture. I'm not currently finding that. You can definitely see that it's there. So this is before and then this is the after, so there's definitely more shimmer. There is definitely pigment there, so I'm not sure, maybe they just got a funny one. On the other cheek, I'm going to try the peach one because another criticism that I saw was that there's no difference at all between the pink shade and the peach shade. So for complete fairness, I'm going to take another brush. It's just a clean brush. I'm going to pick up some of the peach shade. I'm going to pack that on. I do like my blush to be quite defined, so I am going to go in a number of times just with the brush. Again, like, that is picking up a lot of pigment. Now this is the peach and that is the pink. For me, I can see a difference. This one is more cool toned and that is definitely more orangey. It's coming up orangey on camera. Now the next part, I'm actually going to spritz my face before we go into, because it's powder highlighter and I want to give it a wee bit of something to stick to. So this is the Up All Night. I actually almost said all nighter, so it's clearly supposed to be a dupe for the Urban Decay. Oh my god, that is straight water. Holy. So I would definitely say, unless you've got 15 minutes to let your face dry out or a fan on hand, maybe don't go in so hard with the setting spray, because my face was drenched but it looks flawless now, to be fair, so maybe it was worth it. Now I'm gonna take this. Oh, I actually need to take the plastic off this. Oh, come on, Primark. It was with their packaging, honestly. I can't open things. I don't know why they make it so difficult to get into, like a £3 highlighter. Now I'm going to take a small fluffy brush from Doll Beauty, tap it, hello, I can see a wee bit like, but there it is. I do like to give the highlighters a proper good test, and I feel like the only way you can do that is by doing like 2016 style highlighter. So what I'm going to do now, just before I go in with mascara and eyeliner, is to blend out the edges of this shadow because it was looking a wee bit harsh. So we still want to keep the pigmentation. I still want that big smoky with like the glitter, but I don't want it too harsh. I'm going to take this metallic coal eyeliner. I'm gonna do my waterline with it. very, very incredibly creamy. Don't know about the staying power then. I do also have this, which is an eyeliner, a felt tip eyeliner. But I'm not going to eyeline today, so if you want to see that, you're going to have to go follow me on TikTok. And then I have 4 mascaras, but I'm just going to use the Extreme Lash Mascara, and it's in brown because I feel like it would match my eye look. Again, if you're starting out in makeup, or if you have like a family member or a friend that is like sort of starting to get into makeup and just wants to start experimenting, Primark makeup is a really, really inexpensive way to allow them to do it, because look at the eyelashes. They're clearly noticeable when they weren't before, and that mascara was like £3 or £4. So a very, very good way to start your experimentation with makeup. Now, last but not least, we are going to do lip liner and lipstick. Now, lip liners from Primark, these are my holy freaking grail. They're 90p for the most part, and is their staying power incredible? Not really. I'm gonna be completely honest. But they are such a good, affordable option for a lip liner. So we're gonna take this, which is the shade Toast. Easy to work with, incredibly creamy, very pigmented. The colour payoff's there. I mean, whack it in your bag for 90p, you wouldn't be gutted losing it. So, you know. Then we are going to take, I have 9 lipsticks from Primark, and my favourite one I would say is Barely There. So I'm just gonna focus that in the center, and then top it all off with this lip glaze gloss. Now this is a bit of a stickier formula. If you're not into that sticky formula, they do have the road dupes, they do have the lip oils, they do have the smaller like purse sized ones. There is a lot of options. So all that being said, this is a full face of Primark makeup. Standouts for me, that blush palette, the lipstick, and the bronzer that I've just tried, the shimmery bronzer. What are your standouts? Are you going to go follow me on TikTok to watch me do a full face with Primark with completely different products? I hope you are. I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.